Good evening. I am Lacy Rice Jr. of the Greater Hardin County Women's Network, welcoming you to the 2022 Hardin County Political Candidates Forum Series, co-sponsored by the Greater Hardin County Women's Network and the Hardin County Branch of the NAACP. Tonight, our candidates are running for Hardin County Jailer. Joining us are candidates Joshua Big Josh Lindblom and Rob Reynolds. Tonight's format will be a 2-minute opening statement followed by 8 questions. The candidates will have 1 minute to answer each question. To conclude, each candidate has 1 minute to summarize. Tonight's timekeeper is Lenora Young, representing the Hardin County Branch of the NAACP. Since Mr. Lindblom is our incumbent, we will let him open up with his opening statement.
Well, I just appreciate y'all having me. Appreciate the Greater Hardin County Women's Network and the NAACP local branch for sponsoring it. I am Josh Lindblom. Everybody calls me Big Josh. I am your Hardin County jailer. Been in office my first term, so almost 4 years now. I've been in emergency services here in Hardin County for 2 decades, between the fire departments, the sheriff's office, and the jail. Last 4 years, we've accomplished a lot here at the Hardin County Jail. We're graduating more people from GED ever, so people are leaving the jail with a high school diploma. We are helping people back on their feet when they get out by helping them get jobs, and with our working hard with the reentry council to make sure they're taken care of. We are under budget every year. We've maximized the money we have and saved the county, millions of dollars over the last couple of years. And we just keep on working hard every day. Throughout the pandemic, we didn't shut down. That's one thing about corrections is you can never shut down. We worked real hard and treated people right. We've done a pretty good job. If you notice, your roads are cleaner. Your everything's going pretty smooth. So that's my spiel. I mean, we've had a great 4 years. I live right here in Elizabethtown with my beautiful wife, and I've got 4 children. I've got 2 16-year-old twin daughters. I've got a little boy who is 2 years old, and I've got a little boy, he'll be 4 in October. So appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Reynolds, your opening statement.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. And I want to thank the Greater Hardin County Women's Network and the Hardin County NAACP hosting this forum for us. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Rob Reynolds. I'm the Republican candidate for Hardin County Jailer. I currently work as a protective services officer under the Department of Homeland Security. I'm assigned to the security detail at the FBI headquarters building in Louisville. Prior to that, I spent 19 and a half years as a deputy jailer at the jail here in Hardin County, worked in various positions throughout the facility, up to my last position as the director of operations and the captain. While I was there, had the unique opportunity to be involved in several projects and programs that complemented our facility and improved the overall efficiency of our jail and the safety of our community. Prior to that, I was a U.S. Army veteran, non-commissioned officer and a soldier, serving both domestically and abroad. I live here in Elizabethtown with my wife, Jeannie, of 17 years, and I have 3 children, Caleb, who's 24, Autumn, and is 19, and my youngest, Brooklyn, who a lot of people in the community know. And we've lived here in Elizabethtown for a little over 17 years now. We had an opportunity to do some great things with the community. I'm active with the Elizabethtown Lions Club, the Elizabethtown Noon Rotary. I'm a member of the Hardin County Chamber of Commerce, as well as I'm an advisory board member for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kentucky. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Reynolds, in your opinion, what are the duties of the jailer?
Well, the duties of the jailer are pretty vast, but they are clearly defined in Kentucky statute, what they're required to do. They have to maintain the safety and the efficiency of the jail to make sure that it's kept clean and that it's an environment where people are kept warm or cool in the summer months. Also responsible for the training of the staff that are involved, as well as, because Hardin County is a regional facility, we actually house prisoners with the Department of Corrections. And so there's a set of guidelines there that programming that we have to provide and then allow for, a smooth transition back into our community. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lindblom, same question.
All right. So the duties of the jailer, anybody that comes to those doors, whether it be employees or inmates, you got to make sure they're taken care of. If they're an inmate, you got to feed them, you got to medicate them, you got to make sure they're safe while they're here. And like you said, you have to provide a warm place to sleep, a safe place, a safe, clean environment. But you also have to be a steward of public funds. The Hardin County Jail currently has a $9.2 million budget. And of course, we've been very frugal and we made sure we renegotiated contracts to make sure the jail is running correctly. So your money and your money and your money are spent correctly and you get more bang for your buck. You also got to be a public servant, a true public servant. Because there's times where you go above and beyond, and that's what we do. We help people when they get in, we help people when they get out, we help them transition.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lindblom, the jailer has a sizable staff. Tell us about your management experience.
Well, I started out here at the jail, of course, with working here at the jail, but as I left to go to the sheriff's office, I became the sergeant of operations for the Justice Center. We protected judges and took care of the all the deputies and all the people that work at the courthouse. But also throughout the years, I've been a volunteer fireman. Took people into fires and I brought them back out. But also right now, of course, we currently have 87 staff members. Plus we have medical contractors, we have food contractors, and we got commissary contractors as well. And not only do we that, we also have right now currently 681 inmates. My management style is, making sure everything's running correctly, making sure people are taken care of, making sure my employees are having the insurance and benefits, and making sure Hardin County has the proper people to be working in the jail.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reynolds, same question.
Yes. So for the last 30 years, whether in the county or in some way, shape, or form in uniform, I've served the community in leadership positions. My time in the Army, when I left service, I was in the rank of staff sergeant. While at the jail, I've been a shift supervisor, training director, director of operations lieutenant. I've been involved in a lot of the management stuff that goes in the day-to-day operation of the jail. Also operated the budget alongside with our chief deputy. Was instrumental in implementing our training programs for our senior officers that trained our new incoming staff, as well as the training plan that we put in place. So got a vast wealth of experience in leadership and motivating people to accomplish the goals that we need to accomplish, not just at the jail, but any position I've been assigned to.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reynolds, what are some of your ideas to improve processes and or programs at the county jail?
So Hardin County operating the 5th largest jail with an extremely high recidivism rate, there needs to be a real proactive review of the programming needs at the jail. Reentry initiatives are kind of the thing of the future now. With people coming back to our community, we need to look at the best available programming to provide them, as well as professional development for our staff. Kentucky is unique. We're the only state left in the country, as we discussed earlier, that doesn't have to attend an academy and are independently elected officials. We need to send our staff to a more professional standard of training so that we have better trained officers, more efficient facility. And those are things that I plan on implementing if I'm elected.
Thank you. Mr. Lindblom, same question.
So over the last 4 years, we actually currently now have more programs than ever before at the jail. We've also graduated more people with a high school diploma from the jail. And we've also started a program where it could have been done before, but it's actually getting inmates out to work in factories and everything with actually making real money. No, is we are actually the 7th largest jail in the Commonwealth of Kentucky now. It's been a little while, but it's, there's jails that have done additions and everything else. We're looking at right now about starting a program with the state to actually go out and take over some of the other jails' work programs because they're having some issues with them. We're also, started the largest, we've expanded out the religious program. There's always a religious program at the jail, but now we have over 390 volunteers for religious programs here at the jail. So that's another thing we did as well.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lindblom, what is the most important issue facing the county jail?
Well, the most important issue, to be honest with you, is the state legislature, of course, but we have a drug epidemic, coming in, every day it's drugs. My first 10 years of my career, there was 2 heroin cases in all of Hardin County. Now you get them every other day. So we don't get the healthiest people. They come through, hopefully by the time they leave here, they're healthier than they were when they come in. Mental health is another issue, which is another state level problem. When they come in, a lot of times people get taken to the jail because there's no other place to take them. They're not criminals. They have mental health issues. So we work real hard with community care and other programs to go ahead and get them help. And that also helps when you don't have some of the mental health issues come in 2 or 3 times a week when they can be in a program to help them.
Mr. Reynolds, same question.
Great question. The most important issue that we have facing our jail right now is overcrowding. The current economic development that we have occurring in our county that potentially is going to bring between 15 to 20,000 people to this area with new employees and workers, our jail population is going to increase. Our jail currently is built to house about 650 people, and they're overcrowded as most jails in the state are. During this administration, there's been no effective level of planning for infrastructure change to combat overcrowding, which creates an even dangerous environment, not just for the people that have to be there, but for the employees and the community as well. That has to change, and that also, as well as the drug problem we have inside the jail. An exorbitant amount of illegal substances are inside our jail, and the lack of effective eradication programs has contributed to that.
Thank you. Mr. Reynolds, what are your proposals to deal with mental health issues on the staff?
So currently, with programs with the county through the Employee Assistance Program, you have a lot of resources available to provide to the staff in a confidential manner. But we also, we worked on this issue when I was the director of operations. We partnered with CommuniCare to allow an avenue for staff that were experiencing issues or supervisors that potentially identified a staff member that may be experiencing some problems to get them the proper help that they needed. We also, on the other hand, need to work with our contracted healthcare provider to make sure that we have adequate mental health services, for our inmate population. That currently doesn't exist with our jail now. They do have a nurse that fills in a position, but we don't have the proper counseling and mental health services for our inmate population or our staff.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Lindblom, same question.
We have a mental health clinician inside the jail 40 hours a week who can talk to staff and the inmates. But also we deal with CommuniCare, and we have the crisis intervention team, and we've done training here in the jail for crisis intervention team. We've got 3/4 of the staff trained in it, and also they're available for the staff 24 hours a day, and they'll answer the phone. It's retired police officers and veterans who will talk to them anytime. Also, with our different stuff with the county that we're able to do, if somebody is having issues, they have a line they can call, or they can come to us and we can actually get them help through that. That's a pretty easy thing to do. It's a group that actually is, religious. It's actually a group that has, emergency services, and they will come anytime we need them.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Ms. Lindblom, on the flip side, and you kind of touched on this, what are your proposals to address mental health issues of inmates?
Well, going on with the same thing we're already doing. Of course, our staff had been trained in crisis intervention, which is able to go ahead and, help people that have a meltdown. They can actually decide, look at somebody and talk to them for a little bit, and they can see if it's a drug-related issue or a mental health issue. Not saying they're professionals at it, but it gives them that extra little avenue. Our insurance company, KCO, loves it because it's now a program that's where you go into the state, and it all started right here to where we're able to push that out for corrections. Before, it was only offered to police officers. We do have a mental health condition right here, and like I said, 40 hours a week here in the jail in our contract. But also, like I said, we built we have 390 volunteers for religious programs that will come in and talk to any inmate anytime, and they're able to do that.
Thank you. Excuse me. Mr. Reynolds, same question.
So expanding on what Jailer Lindblom talked about, yes, there are basic services at the jail. The medical provider that is currently there, the nurse that is filling that position is not a licensed or board licensed clinician to provide services. It basically is a draconian measure to check a box. We have to establish a better working relationship with CommuniCare to get more effective programs inside of the jail. 80% of our prisoners that are being lodged have two significant issues, with the drug epidemic and also mental health. And that's going to be one of your biggest costs, with the medical arena, is your mental health issues. I've worked there. I know what the programs are, and I know that it can be done better. And so we just have to work with the various agencies to establish a best practice to take care of our inmates' mental health.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reynolds, this has been touched on by both candidates. What are some of your proposals to deal with the drug epidemic of inmates coming in with drug issues?
So there's a protocol that's set in place for people that come in that already have obviously a drug problem, working closely with our medical and mental health staff to address those issues to make sure that they're safe and taken care of, as well as addressing the security concerns within the jail. Currently, you have a body scanner that doesn't operate correctly, and you have staff that are not adequately trained on how to utilize this issue. We have more and more prisoners inside of our jail right now that have access to illicit substances because we have a huge staffing problem at the jail, and they're not able to identify these. There's no canine program at the jail. There's no active involvement with the narcotics task force inside of our facility, because the role of the narcotics task force is to get the big fish, not the users or what we have inside the jail. The jail doesn't have a criminal investigation element anymore. There is a better plan that can be put in place, and it's one of the biggest issues that I will address if I'm elected.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lindblom, same question.
So one of the first things we did when I took office was buy a $180,000 body scanner, which is top of the line. And that helps us find a lot of stuff. It's a lot of times anything that's on the person's person, on the body of a person, we confiscate. So we actually have enough fentanyl that we've confiscated in the evidence box in the back that could probably kill half of Elizabethtown. We find drugs all the time. We do work with the Greater Hardin County Narcotics Task Force every day. But then, every day there's somebody there. Prior to me taking office, there was a person that had a canine dog that wasn't trained, and it just was not a good fit. I mean, KCO would not insure it. So we worked really hard to make sure that was taken care of. So now the Sheriff's Office, Elizabethtown Police Department, State Police, they're the ones that take care of the canine program.
Thank you, sir. This is the last question. Mr. Lindblom, where does the role of jailer fit with the rest of county government?
Well, the role of jailer is that, as a jailer, you have the largest budget. So we work real hard to make sure we, are good stewards of public funds. But also, I serve on the Kentucky Jailer Association Board of Directors, and I'm the chair of the legislative committee for the board of directors. So just this past year, we lobbied the state government, and we've got a $4 extra per diem for state prisoners. So that's been an extra influx of $720,000 a year for county government. So the money they're not spending here on that stuff will trickle down to the rest of the government. So EMS, getting better insurance for the employees, which we did in their first term when we saved $600,000 in our first term, our first year of a term. Sorry, but yeah, the jailer works really hard and works as a support agency for everybody, but also takes care of a jail, takes care of everything.
Thank you. Mr. Reynolds, same question.
So the jail in Hardin County is the largest law enforcement agency that is there, and its role is unique in the public safety of our community. You also have to work with the members of county government to manage the absorbent, budget that the jail has. The current biggest issue that the jail has is staffing and all of the administrative costs that go along with that. And yes, there are legislative changes that affect your budget, but in the last 20 years, there's been no increase of revenue that comes into the jail since the juvenile department left. There's a number of sources out there. Professional accreditation will bring more money into the county that will allow us to fund initiatives inside the jail. The jailer has a very important role that's dual purpose, not only for county government, but also the effectiveness of the jail and what's best.
All right, thank you. Mr. Reynolds, as we close, you have the floor to summarize.
So people ask me all the time, why would I want to run for jailer again? Because this is my second time. I still have the same sentiment that I had 4 years ago. Our current jailer is a good guy, and he and I have a long established relationship, but I believe that the county needs a better qualified candidate that has a better understanding of how our jail needs to operate within our community, as well as best practices there at the jail. Under this current administration, there's been a catastrophic failure in the overall safety of the jail. There are escapes that have occurred that have not been reported to the community, 9 to be exact. Our work release program that the jailer talked about earlier is actually managed by a third-party administrator, a company outside the state of Kentucky that is profiting off of inmate labor. In my opinion, that's unethical. The way that the Hardin County Jail operates within the community has to change. I'm a well-qualified candidate with a litany of service that has the ability to come in and fix the issues that currently exist at the jail.
Thank you. Mrs. Lindblom, same somewhat.
Under my first term, there's been less escapes than ever before, and the escapes that have happened have been through work crews, not from the main facility. Everybody that's ever got out from the work crews, they're back here. They were brought back really quick. Second thing is our work program. There's a sheriff staffing program. It's being utilized in 2 different counties now and 2 different states as well, all because they're a program that covers workers' comp insurance for the inmates that are actually out working. If you didn't have it like that, you'll have the same thing that happened at the candle factory out in Western Kentucky, where those inmates were not covered under workers' comp. And I would not go for a program that wouldn't cover inmates in the workers' comp. If you look at this newspaper article right here, right, it talks about the millions of dollars we've saved from Judge Barry, who's a Republican from a different party, and he was pretty happy with what we've done. Also, it's been a very successful 4 years. And that's just the way it is. I've sat in the chair. I've made the decisions. I was 2022 finalist for Jailer of the Year this year. So Hardin County has the best candidate and has the best jailer candidate right here. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. We thank each candidate for participating. We ask that you, the voter, consider what the candidate said tonight before making a decision. Do not vote simply because you know someone or because someone else refers a candidate to you. Use the information presented to make an informed decision. Thank you, and on behalf of the Greater Hardin County Women's Network and the Hardin County Branch of the NAACP, have a blessed weekend.
Thank you all.
Good night, gentlemen. Thank you.